In this video, we're going to be talking about elasticStage, which is a fantastic way of getting your music on vinyl and CD. So yeah, let's get into it. Hey, this is Barry from Music Tech Info. Hope you're doing well. So I've been using elasticStage for some time to actually get my music released out on vinyl and CD. And it's a great service. I used to use something called Kunaki.com and it became US only, which was really disappointing as a artist because it just stopped me from being able to manufacture my music. So elasticStage then came on board. I'm not saying it's as a result of that, but they came at the right time. And I was able to do lots of things. I was able to release CDs, I was able to release vinyl. And vinyl, as you know, typically for independent artists, that's not normally an opportunity to do that. So this is kind of print on demand, which is really cool. Now, interestingly, I've literally just watched a interview with Boy George from Culture Club with Scott Mills, and he's just announced his new album actually on elasticStage, which is really cool. So you can see his page is elasticStage.com Boy George, and you can see he's got two albums on here, one in 2021, and he always got a single out as well. And you can get his new reggae album called SE18 actually on vinyl and booklet and CD and booklet as well. And you're able to stream the tracks. And he's decided not to go streaming on like the likes of Spotify for this album. So that's interesting because there's a lot of people that are just like, Spotify doesn't pay money. It's great for discovery. If you're already discovered or you're using different methods, why should you have to put your music out on Spotify? So I find that really interesting. From an independent artist point of view, if you still get reach and you put your music out on something like this, you're going to get the best chance of revenue for your music, you know? Whereas if you put it out on Spotify, you have to get over 1,000 streams on a particular track within the year to earn anything. And then if you get like 1,000 streams, that's what, like $3? So this is such a better way of doing it, and it's probably my top tip for this year. If you are an independent artist, get your music on elasticStage. Now it's really easy, it is on demand. They will ship the CDs and vinyls out to the fans directly if that's what you want it to do. There's no cost to actually set it up, which is amazing. No obligations, no risks. If there is a delay for any reason, one of my vinyl was a bit delayed, they will email to let you know, which is really good. So all you have to do, you create by uploading your music and artwork. You must own the copyrights or have a license to do that. You can build your artist page within the website on the store, and you can list the records up for sale and spread the word via social media. And then they'll actually produce the goods and ship them directly to your fans within weeks of them placing an order on the store, which is really cool. You're able to produce this all on demand, which is excellent. So it's a one-stop solution. Now, interestingly, I wasn't expecting CDs as an option, vinyl as an option, vinyl and booklet as an option, CD and book. So there's lots of different options to actually go with, which is all on demand, which is just amazing. You can sell your records worldwide. In fact, you can spread the link, promote the link to your fans. They then go to the store, right? And they then choose the country that they're in, and it'll tell them how much it costs to ship to them, which is brilliant. You don't need to have an initial budget either. There's a lot of independent artists I know that will have to produce like, I don't know, 250 albums on vinyl, and then they really struggle to shift them. You know, they end up making a loss by having to pre-order in bulk with that initial investment. So by doing this, there's no budget needed at all, which is just amazing. And this can be great for labels. The label that I use, Pink Dolphin Music, is also on here. You've got direct to fan, which is what we're all about now for independent musicians. It's not about putting your music out on platforms and then you don't get absolutely any of that valuable data back, like the likes of TikTok. You don't get email addresses. So we go direct to fan now because then we can target those fans directly, the people that actually care about our music. So it says take control of your music and sell directly to your fan base. We deal with customer service, lost packages and replacements without extra costs. You can buy your copies in bulk, which is an option. So if you did want to have quite a lot available, maybe you want to sign them first and you want to do it in-house and then you want to send it on to fans yourself, you can have multiples of just 25 for vinyl and 50 for CDs at a discount. So that's really good as well. To any of the countries they ship to, with the highest quality sound on their most legacy pressed vinyl, with a fast turnaround as well, which is risk free, eco friendly, so they actually use a particular material avoiding chemicals and energy draining processes in traditional vinyl production, eligible for the charts. See, Boy George isn't stupid, is he? So, yeah, I just think it's amazing. You've got a royalties calendar calculator as well further down, so you're able to see the pricing and how many units you'd need to sell to get so much royalties. So it goes into the calculator here, which you're able to see. You've got some reviews, you've got some videos, FAQs as well, which is brilliant. So now if I scroll to the very top, you've got here build my release. So you just set up an account, which is really straightforward. And when you create a release, this is where you choose what's available to you. So you've got 12-inch vinyl. You can do it as single EP, you can do it with the booklet, you can do an album, you can do CD, exactly the same kind of emphasis on that. So if I chose album as an example, you give it a title. I'll just call it test for now. You can put in the barcode for free, which they provide, or you can put in your own here. Then you go create release. Then you go into your release on your releases page, and then literally you just start to fill it all out. I mean, I used to do this stuff on like CD Baby back in the day to actually produce my CDs. But this is really easy. So if you've ever submitted your music to DSPs, it's a very similar thing. Interestingly, Boy George had to prove he was Boy George because they didn't believe him. So he had to write a letter to them, just to explain them that he is actually Boy George. I think this is maybe one of the rare opportunities that a commercial artist such as Boy George has actually approached them and decided he wanted to release with them. So I really hope this continues to grow. Plus, if your release is on here, that's going to give it a better chance of exposure with the likes of Boy George being on here as well, which I think is just amazing. If you want it to be limited, you can do that. You've got price categories, so it gives you an idea of how much it actually you can charge for this stuff. So you can even do deluxe packages if you want to as well. So there's just lots of options, but I'm not going to go into too much on here, to be fair. You would then upload the tracks, the artwork, the release group of how you want it to be released. And then, yeah, then you go into your releases page on the top. And then you're able to publish them to make them live. You can order test vinyls if you want to. You can order bulk copies. You can make edits as well if you want to do that. I just think it's an amazing service, and I haven't had any issues with using this service. One of the amazing parts of this, if you're a covers artist or if you do covers, they will sort out the licenses for you for that particular release, which is amazing. You need to have mechanical licenses for any covers that you want to produce in the form of mechanical, like CDs, like vinyl, like cassettes, anything like that. You need to have a mechanical license for, and it's not cheap to do that. elasticStage will actually pay for that up front, and they'll set it all up for you in the background, which is just amazing. Now, if I have a look at Pink Dolphin Music, which is a label that I'm also with, and I scroll down, you can see I've got my hits covers album on here. So they've got it on CD 2 as like a bonus, and vinyl or CD on here. You got Under the Covers 4, which I've done, Under the Covers 3 side B, Under the Covers 3, Under the Covers 2 side B. I've done loads of cover albums, guys. If I go to the very beginning, back to 2018, you'll see, just look at the animation. It's just so nice. I've done I Won't Let You Down, Simple Minds, Human League, Gary Newman Cars, Mark Almond, just so many artists I've actually done in the past. I've featured their music, which is great because that really does help with reach. But I wasn't able to sell these on my store, guys, and the reason for that is because I couldn't afford the mechanical licenses. So the fact that elasticStage do that for you is my tip number 2. I've done Together in Electric Dreams as well, Visage, Fade to Grey. I haven't covered Boy George, funnily enough. Got Small Town Boy. Just so much. Blinding Lights, Sweet Dreams. So I just think it's amazing to be able to feature, your music on here. I've done synthwave albums as well, daywave, nightwave, retro lift, retro full, and I'm like an independent artist that does synth pop, synthwave music, but does tons of albums worth of material. So to actually not have to have that upfront cost is just amazing, to be perfectly honest with you. If you do go back to elasticStage as well, I just wanted to show you store here. This is really good for discovery. So once you do make your release live, it'll feature in here. Now look at all of the genres that we've got on here at the moment. I mean, that's looking pretty cool, isn't it? This is kind of a new thing. I don't think they had this before. And that was one of my bugbears with elasticStage, was discovery is really important. So from my point of view, it's really good to be able to, a bit like Bandcamp, a bit like having to get your music out on there. If I do have a look at reggae, there you go. I just knew it. I didn't check. I just had a feeling Boy George would be #1 on here. So that's just so cool. And then, so buyers will literally just put in their country. They can order what's available to them, and they can pre-order now if it's not already released yet, which is really cool. I just think it's an amazing service for independent artists and signed artists and commercially famous artists as well. So let me know what you think about elasticStage. Have you used them? Are you going to? I'll leave a link in the description, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye.